Hey, welcome back everybody. Thank you so much for being here. As you could see, it took a while because I'm working on the book and summer, also taking vacation and enjoying it with this great temperature outside. So listen, I'm here to give you a conclusion on the device that I bought for AirThings. And now the only thing I really could compare is that device by itself compared to the thermometers and everything else that I have in my house system on the degrees and humidity that I have in the house and compare it to what it's giving me as a reading. And I gotta say, it's pretty much accurate. So that said, if you want to do comparison with other devices, I'm sure there's other videos that will, give you a comparison between AirThings and, other devices that will probably calculate radon and all that kind of stuff, allergies, humidities and temperatures and CO2 and the VOC. So from that point, here's the conclusion that I got on this. But let me first explain how I got to that. Okay, we tried several things. We put it in our bedrooms for, to see how the air was into different parts of the house, but especially the bedroom, just to see if we were sleeping in a good environment. And we were surprised to see how the CO2 could raise so high just after one night. It could raise up to 1,000 parts per meter, square. So without saying it, let's go through it here. Let me change my screen. This is what I got from my phone. As you could see, allergies were good. Radon, after 30 days of verifying it was good. No sleep, headaches possible, productivity possible. Why? Because of the CO2 that they say. Okay, the VOC, organic components, well, that was good. That stayed okay. Humidity was not bad. It stayed between 50 and 60, which is pretty much the range it should have. And parts per million, once, the size of one, was good also. So this is what I got for one night when we left the door open, windows and everything like that, and we went to bed. So let's back it up and let's put 3 hours instead of 24 hours so you could see how the variation is on there. So let's go to the point where we go to bed, right there. Okay, I'm not sure why that dipped, but anyways, maybe because we passed in front of it and there's circulation that is caused. So during out the night, obviously the CO2 slowly goes up from 400 whatever that you saw, and it keeps increasing during the night. Obviously, when you exhale CO2, and if there's no circulation in the house, it just keeps going up. So just before we wake up and we leave the room, we could see the highest value was, it could get there, I think it's 800 and something. There we go, 800, you're going, there you go, 870. So we get up, leave the room, you can see it starts going down again. So that said, what we did is we kept the door shut one night just to see how it was. And look at the CO2. That was just one day when I shut the door and I took 1 hour nap in the afternoon. Look how the CO2 increased with your door closed in your bedroom. That's like, wow, that's like almost the double, it increased. Now let's take a look. I don't have an apartment. I have a house with 2 levels, large enough, and we have one of the best thermal pumps on the market. It's not the best. There are better ones, which you could pay a little bit more, but still, this is almost even stronger than what you need for the place. Okay, and inside we have these air traps, that suck in the air from the house. Okay, you can see right now we have several of those, half a dozen and even more throughout each level, which takes that air and recirculates it into the house to a certain percentage of what you want and need. Now all this asking myself is, can you imagine somebody in an apartment, a condo, which, yeah, maybe in a condo you'll have some of those air conditioning coming from outside, but do you have these traps sucking air inside your house, recirculating? Most of the time, no. In an apartment, almost impossible. You don't have that. The only thing is you have to, if you have the intention of getting fresh air, is to crack a window open or open the patio door, let some circulation, let some air pass through for a few minutes. With the, hopefully the winds from going from left to right to one side to the other of the apartment. If you don't, and sometimes it's not always easy when it's humidity so high and it's so hot, or it's raining from left to right from every side, wherever window you open, there's rain coming in. Or winter, it's freezing outside. You can't leave the door open more than a few seconds. It's like already freezing inside. So all that to say is, every time you have chance, crack open a window, open a patio window, do what you can for a few minutes. If you can, do it for all day with a screen in front of it, and leave the window open. Let the circulation in. Now, they say if I go back, put this here, if I go back to this, they say 1,000, it starts creating headaches and all that. I don't know where they got those numbers. If I check on certain meta-analysis and everything like that, well, basically, if I look at the numbers, it looks like 10,000, typically no effect. Possible drowsiness, 15,000 parts per mile history. You don't want to get there. 80,000 or 50,000, I think it's death. Possible death, no, it's 80. So anything, above this is really bad. But nonetheless, comes down. Those are my conclusions. The device opened our eyes to say, hey, open a lot more than you used to let the circulation in the house, even though you have a great system. And your radon, which was the basic reason we bought it for, make sure that I made sure downstairs was okay. So great. Yes, if I rented, I phoned like 3 or 4 companies for radon, and these guys are almost the same price as the device itself. And they didn't even calculate, parts per million, but 2.5 or 1, which is very bad for your lungs. The smaller one, which we seem to have no effect on that. And it didn't calculate the humidity, which above 60, well, we got thermometers for that, you're going to say. But the organic components in the house, which is really, really bad for you, it does calculate that. So it calculates a lot more than just radon, which is great. I'm satisfied with it, put it that way. Did I want to add anything else? Pretty much covered it. So if you got any questions, yeah, feel free to ask me. I'll probably come back to you like mid-February or end of February when I tested it out, when we can't open that much during the winter, and how high it does go in the house if can't open the doors or windows to let the air in because it's too damn cold. And we'll see at that time if it does make any changes. Oh, and another thing, it was funny because to bring the CO2 down, at the time we did it in the month of June, there was a lot of pollen at that time. As the CO2 would come down, you'd see the parts per PM 2.5, that's the bit, a little bit bigger, those are allergic components. It would go up, all the way up to the red. We closed the door after, and then the air would recirculate. The CO2 would still stay normal, but the particles would die down because of my filter inside, my system that we had, house system. So I hope that clears it up, and at least if you want to know what the device is, I'll put it online here so you can check it out. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Take care.